in this world, when they go away from this world, not only them, but generations, millions after them, they remember him or them. Because they live in this world in a way which is different from others. Question: what separates them from others? What separates Mahatma Gandhi from other Indians? What separates Nelson Mandela from other people? What separates them? That is the topic of our discussion today. Courage, compassion, and change. These people, when they see the world around them, they are uncomfortable. When they see poverty, they are uncomfortable. When they see oppression, they are uncomfortable. Their nafs, their soul, is not limited to the satisfaction of this body only. Their soul seeks satisfaction in a society which is a just society. When they see people unhappy, they get unhappy. There's an example. One of the scientists in Iran, his name was Shahid Chamran. He did his PhD from Harvard University, if I remember correctly, or Philadelphia University. He was the head of department in that university, and when he came back, he created an impact and he was martyred. Finally, for the cause of justice, he died. But living the life in the United States, he left that and came. Why? Because he wanted to contribute. One night he was traveling when he was a young boy, and he saw somebody sleeping on the road, and it was a winter season, and he did not have anything, a blanket. And he did not have enough money to buy a blanket for him. When he went home, what he did, he went inside, cried, and then he came out and he slept in the winter. He slept outside the house. He said, if I cannot provide him a blanket, at least I can feel the pain that he has. Now these are the people who create impact in the society. They inspire generations. They are revolutionary people. They are not satisfied that I have a good house, I have a good family, I've got a good car, my child goes to a good school. Okay, these things are good, but not enough. Do people who live in my village or do people who live in my city, do have the same facilities? Can they send their students, can they send their children to good school? No. So the point number one, that all these people have in common is this, that they are not selfish people, they are selfless people. Allah says in the Quran, لَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلُنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْمِيزَانَ لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ بِالْقِسْطِ. Allah says in the Quran that I have sent the Quran. Please listen to this carefully, especially my non-Muslim friends. What is the purpose of religion? We think religion is something which is very private and private life, religious. No, let's understand religion. What is religion? Allah says in the Quran that I have sent the prophets, and with them I have sent the books. I have sent them with rational proofs. With rational proofs. And I have sent them with the scale so that people can identify between right and wrong. But I ask the question, oh God, oh Allah, why did you send religion? Or why did you send the prophet? Why did you send the books? He says in the Quran, so that human beings can rise up to establish justice on earth. It did not say Muslims should rise. Allah says humanity should rise to establish justice. So if we understand the goal of the prophets and religion is to establish justice, then we understand the role of the prophets and the people who follow the prophet and Imam Hussain alayhi salam, because he cared for the cause of justice. He cared he cared for everybody, and he wanted to ensure that everybody has justice. So the first point that I want to mention is people who bring about change, they have this feeling of compassion for everybody else, for a higher cause, for a moral cause. Once they have this clarity, they go on to the second step, that there is the step of sacrifice. For that sacrifice, you need courage. But till the time you don't have a high goal, you don't have moral goal, people are dying, let them die, what should I do? There are 30,000 people being killed in Gaza, I don't care. There is starvation in Gaza, I don't care. If human beings are trained in such a way, in fact, we have lost humanity. They're not human beings anymore. They're worse than animals. Okay, I'll ask you one question before I go on to my next point. Can you name one animal which has killed the same animal the most? Human beings. All animals are compassionate enough that they don't kill their fellow animal. It is only human beings who kill human beings. So many human beings kill. We are worse than animals. This is in the Quran that we are worse than animals. Human beings are born in a way that they can be higher than the angels, or they can be worse than animals. Okay. So, if we have a goal, and what is the goal? The goal is to bring about justice in the society. And we are passionate about it. Then, everything that happens in that society which creates injustice is related to me. This is the first point. Second point. Once I see injustice in the society, somebody told me while I was coming that don't speak against the government. Once you know that something is right, something is wrong, right? Once I know something is wrong, if I speak against wrong or evil, those people in the power, will they be happy or sad? They'll be sad, they'll be angry. They'll scare you, they'll put you in jails, they'll scare you. That is where you have this attachment, and you need such revolutionary figures to inspire you. Who inspired Mahatma Gandhi? It was Imam Hussain. Who inspired Nelson Mandela? It was Imam Hussain. So the world needs humanity, and humanity needs Imam Hussain. You need such people who have given you, they're not here to tell you story, they have given their life, their child's life, to the extent a 6-month-old baby was killed in Karbala. Imam Hussain was ready to sacrifice even a 6-month-old son. Why? For the cause of justice. Because whenever you decide that you need to stand up for the cause of justice, you need to pay the price. It will never happen that you will stand up for the cause of justice and you will not pay the price. No, it will never happen. You will have to pay the price. And these are the people who pay the price. They are the people who are ready, who will actually create what? Who will create legacy after them. So courage is important. But courage should have a moral value, have a moral goal. Without a moral goal, for example, those people, I'll ask you a question, those people who bombed with a nuclear bomb in Japan, did they have courage? Apparently they had a bomb, that bomb could kill thousands of people and could actually impact generations after that. You need courage to do that, because it's not positive courage, it's a negative courage. So with courage, you need moral supremacy so that your moral compass can guide your courage towards the right direction. That is very important. And lastly, what Imam Hussain has taught, till the last moment of his life, he was asking one question, which His Excellency also said, that Imam Hussain had asked only one question. And that question was, oh God, are you happy with me? That is the spirituality. The real spirituality is the one which inspires you to stand up against oppression. If you say, I have spirituality, but I'll go to the jungles or I'll go to the mountains and I'll create a relation with God. What kind of relation with God is that? That you leave all human beings and you leave all the evil in the society and you just want to, you and God. This is not spirituality. Your real spirituality is where your spirituality guides you to establish justice, guides you to stand up for the cause of justice, and guides you to sacrifice everything that you have, everything. That is the reason people in Iran are standing up for the cause of justice, people in Lebanon are standing up for the cause of justice, and you see Gaza as a template. You might see 30,000 children being killed as loss, but in fact they are winning because they are winning morally. People in the world right now love Gaza and hate Israel. Because the blood of an innocent wakens nations, wakens everybody in the world. Today the people in Gaza are winning. They are not losing. They are winning. We are losing because we as human beings are unable to help them. They are winning, we are losing. So for the change, you need to have this courage to stand up for the cause of justice. I'll give you an example. Abdullah, there's one famous guy, he came out of the jail after 40 years. I think his name is Georges Abdullah, Georges Abdullah. He was imprisoned 40 years ago for supporting Palestine in France. How many years ago? 40 years ago. Almost all of you, especially the students, you were not there even. After 40 years ago, when he came back, the first statement that he said that I support resistance. I support the truth and I support the rights of Gaza and I am against Israel. So if you're morally guided, he's a Christian guy. If you're morally guided for the concept of truth, justice, equality, you need role model like Imam Hussain so that you can stand up for the cause of justice and give the price that is needed to stand up for the cause of justice. Hopefully, amongst you will be the leaders who will be inspired to become Mahatma Gandhi. Unfortunately, our current generation is the TikTok generation or the Instagram generation. They just want to make reels and have some followers and get some money, and that's the kind of life. We need people who have the aspirations to be Mahatma Gandhi, to be such people who can change the world. And yes, Imam Hussain alayhi salam says in his beautiful hadith that you, the young people, are young today, but you will be the leaders of tomorrow. So train yourself in a way that you become leaders of the tomorrow and you bring about that positive change. That change is needed in the society. Thank you very much for inviting me, and thanks to all the guests. Hopefully, like I said in the start, it was useful. Inshallah, we'll also have some question and answer sessions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.